The play from left to right, defending Hill 16 in the first half. This is going to be epic. Dublin and Kerry for the 27th time.
Paul Galvin, Donegal Walsh have swapped.
And away we go, ball thrown in. Johnny Buckley with a strong right fist on that. James McCarthy trying to get to the break. And here's the gooch. Starting at centre forward, Ger Brennan then close to him. He's sent that one in long. Cluxton is a bit out in his line, and James O'Donoghue managed to catch it. Having to play a bit of soccer with it now, able to pick it up. Kerry want a fast start, like they had in 2009. Darren O'Sullivan, James O'Donoghue. Hasn't played a huge amount of football since being injured against Cork. They've got a free man out from Anthony Marr's pass. It's the centre-back, Peter Crowley. Crowley steadies down, shoots on his left side, and the jeers tell you that hasn't hit the mark, and it's the first wide. And that was a long way off target from Peter Crowley, coming forward from centre-back. First scoring chance, not taken. Paul Flynn. His work rate has become so important to the way that team play, but a loose pass, Colin Cooper. Paul Galvin just skips away from him. Great feat from Paul Galvin, 33 years young. Galvin holding off James McCarthy, but the referee spotted an infringement. Was the ball touched on the ground?
Well, Paul Galvin was certainly fouled before that. That should definitely have been a Kerry free. He did touch it, surely, but that was after he was fouled originally. You just see it here. Just there, he's been fouled there. And in fact, it was his knee that flicked it back.
Jack McCaffrey. Keane O'Sullivan. Now McCaffrey, open road in front of him. That's Donegal Walsh trying to keep up with him, but his pace is just incredible. Kerry didn't want this to happen so early, but he's been held up, waiting for options, waiting for somebody to get free. Michael Darragh Macaulay has got free. Macaulay for Dublin! Over it goes for a point. Goal was on his mind. Point they have to settle for.
Yeah, it surely was. Great incisive runs. Brogan has peeled off. If he gives it now, he has a great chance. Once he went that far, he nearly had to take it. Brogan would have wanted it, and he would have stuck it, but it's a point.
Brendan Keeley's kick out was for Anthony Marr. Pressure on him from Keane O'Sullivan. Kerry with the line ball. Donegal Walsh having a good year for Kerry. That's Jack McCaffrey with him. Walsh able to get his pass away, and Declan O'Sullivan has got away from Rory O'Carroll. Declan O'Sullivan for Kerry. That familiar striking action, and over it goes, and Kerry level in a flash.
Yeah, great response. Once Declan O'Sullivan got inside, he is not going to miss from there, Dara. He's been doing that for a full career. Deadly left foot, perfect for him.
His 61st championship appearance in the Kerry colours. Ger Brennan. O'Brien going back to Rory O'Carroll. Kerry closing and shutting off options out the field, and Dublin have to figure another way through. Paul Flynn, a lot of passes just to get this far up the park. Kevin O'Brien from cornerback heading towards the Kerry goal. Bernard Brogan didn't score from play against Cork, and Brogan has opened the account. And is that a sign that he is really going to spark into life today? Kerry by 2-1.
Well, he's peeled away for the goal chance that we talked about. Next possession, he taps it over the bar. Great work by Kevin O'Brien. Lovely fist pass, lovely finish. He'd be wanting that for his confidence, there's no doubt.
Kerry with a free. Cormac Riley just telling Paul Galvin to go back to the spot where the foul took place. Here's Anthony Marr. Dermot Connolly making it really hard for him, and they've turned the ball over. Here is Dermot Connolly. Two-footed player, and Connolly slots that one over. Very comfortable on his left as well as the right. They ran straight at Kerry, and that defence, that inexperienced defence apart from the two O'Shea's, just parted.
Yeah, but the lift that a score from a turnover gives a team is massive, and the key to it is the two-footedness of Connolly. You can take it left or right, swings it with the left. Lead for Dublin.
3 scoring chances for Dublin, 3 points to 1 they lead. Kerry having trouble on their own kick out. There's McCaffrey and the pace. Paddy Andrews brought back into the team. McCaffrey had stayed forward. Paul Flynn Kieran Kilkenny. Paddy Andrews, a bit on the high side, but gives Paul Flynn something to go after, which he's done. Now Keane O'Sullivan. They pace all over the place, and O'Sullivan not dragged down. Referee tells him to get up and play on. Paul Mannion is in there close to this. Mannion had nobody waiting inside. Everybody got drawn to the ball. Kerry wanted a quick start. It's Dublin who've made the better opening, and again the ball has been turned over. Caught in possession was Mark Griffin, the new Kerry fullback. Now Paddy Andrews, no pressure on Andrews at all, should score but doesn't, dropping it short.
We got a few of those in the National League. I remember being at a game or two up here, pinging them over simple that day. Different pressure today.
Colin Cooper. It's Brennan there with him, Jared Brennan. Foul. And some unnecessary stuff. And will Cormac Riley take some action?
I think he'll just ask him to cool it down. He let him off on this occasion, but the next one there'll be a colour card, I imagine.
And the ball moved forward.
And that's good refereeing there in my book. He's cooling down Brennan. He's also penalised on the 30 metres. And here's a chance.
James O'Donoghue in close to goal, trying to get free. Tomas O'Shea invited to come forward. Jeremy Connolly there with him. He has to go back and get help from Colin Cooper. Thought about the shot. Goes with a very precise pass to Walsh. They've got in there in the back. O'Donoghue! Goal! What a goal from James O'Donoghue! And what a pass from Colin Cooper!
And what a pass from Donegal Walsh. The little reverse hand pass puts him through here. There it is. And sticks it. If you're going to score from that distance against Cluxton, it better be a good one. Down low in the corner. And now the referee is talking to James McCarthy.
James O'Donoghue's goal, a yellow for James McCarthy of Dublin. Well, after a sluggish sort of a start, Kerry have arrived and in style, and they lead by 1-1 to 3. A brilliant goal from James O'Donoghue. Second time Stephen Cluxton has been beaten in Championship 2013. That was early against Kildare. We knew we had a game already. It's just gone up another level. Paddy Andrews blocked down by Mark Griffin. Mark O'Shea out with Bernard Brogan. They'll have some ding-dong battle. Declan O'Sullivan, the slip by Keane O'Sullivan. It's Diarmuid Connolly working hard to try and make it difficult for him. Donegal Walsh, James O'Donoghue sends it long over the head of Darren O'Sullivan, and too long for him and for Colin Cooper.
He was thinking of the right thing, though. Yeah. It was a good pass, just went over Darren O'Sullivan's head and the Gooch's head, but it was a good chance.
Open enough for Keane O'Sullivan. Here's Kieran Kilkenny. He hasn't had too many chances to take the ball. He's been fouled. The referee spotted a push.
And Dara, I just had a look around. The matchups as per programme are by and large exactly as is. Amazing.
Jack McCaffrey sending that long. Bernard Brogan is his target, doesn't get to him. Here's Paul Mannion, has Brogan with him. Bernard Brogan turns back into trouble. Why? So close.
Well, Paul Mannion is the man who steals it. Oh, he gets the ball perfectly. I thought he was going to do it on the left. Probably did just everything right and just skims it to the left and wide. Great chance. A quick goal reply would have been something to really up the temperature. Oh, just agonisingly wide.
And the most relieved man in Croke Park, Shane Enright, who caught the ball, or tried to catch the ball, and gave possession to Brogan. Here come Kerry. Fionn Fitzgerald. Colin Cooper, shoulder to shoulder with Johnny Cooper. And now Michael Darragh Macaulay has collided with Colin Cooper.
Well, he didn't need to do it. Cooper was trying to soccer it behind him, and Darragh Macaulay got in his way, took him out of it. That's a free.
James O'Donoghue making space for himself again with Kevin O'Brien in front. O'Donoghue has got a goal. Now he's got a point. 1-2 to 3. Dublin haven't scored in 5 minutes. Kerry on top in that time, certainly.
Well, we talk about the inches and the millimetres, and Michael Dara McCauley's knocking over of Cooper when there was complete simple ball on, gives the free, turns over, ball over the bar.
James O'Donoghue's movement is causing Kevin O'Brien a lot of difficulty in the Dublin full back line. The Leinster champions will have a free, and there's so much at stake, but it's a bit of an edge to this too, as you would expect.
But great tempo, great movement, great excitement, every ball a contest.
Dermot Connell. Paddy Andrews taking Mark Griffin out the field, the Kerry fullback. Andrews. Kieran Kilkenny there with him. Jack McCaffrey. Poor pass from McCaffrey straight to Tomás O'Shea. Shane Enright. Paul Galvin. Anthony Marr spotted a gap and spotted James O'Donoghue, who continues to impress. Now Darren O'Sullivan has got out in front but hasn't got the ball. Kevin O'Brien was marking him on that occasion, and James McCarthy showing brilliant pace to get there ahead of Paul Galvin, but it's worked out well for Kerry. Darren O'Sullivan, we've seen those soccer skills before. Paul Galvin. James O'Donoghue. Donncha Walsh. Johnny Buckley for Kerry. Now Colin Cooper. Donncha Walsh is completely free. They're back in again. Dublin far too open. Walsh, goal! What a start for Kerry. And Donncha Walsh, whose eye for goal seemed to have deserted him this year, but he's done this before. 2-2 to 3 points. An amazing start by Kerry.
And this time it is the Gooch's pass. One-on-one, brilliant finish, absolutely brilliant finish. On Cluxton, Dara, there so hard, but look at Gooch's vision again. That's why he's at 11, that's why he's conducting the orchestra. Brilliant pass, brilliant finish by Donncha Walsh. What a score.
Who saw this coming? Well, there's been talk about this open Dublin defence all year, and they've been carved open twice. Johnny Cooper for the shell-shocked Dubs at the moment. Paul Flynn, a long way to go. Dermot Connolly. Tomás O'Shea there, and Mannion in after it goal! Paul Mannion! Poacher's instinct, and what a game we have on our hands. Paul Mannion's goal. They're back in business, but Kerry still lead.
Well, once again, the shot for a point that drops short, one of the most dangerous balls in Gaelic football. But Mannion comes across it and just tomahawks it into the net with a fantastic contact. What a game.
It's already been stunning, and we've only been playing for 13 minutes. Peter Crowley crunched. Dublin free, and they want Stephen Cluxton to take it from this range. He's their joint top scorer. Dermot Connolly a little winded. That goal changed the atmosphere around here.
Well, the one thing Kerry, of course, would want is some distance time-wise between their goal and whatever reply Dublin were going to come up with. The reply was instant, and it was a major three-pointer, and this brings it back now just to the one, and Dublin will be delighted with an opening quarter that sees them back in this position.
Here's Stephen Cluxton. He's happy with the strike. He looked a little anxious, but it has gone over. Now that was Peter Crowley. And here's the goal again.
Yeah, no doubt whatsoever that Jeremy Connolly was going for the point, but didn't Mannion do well to keep his eye on the flight?
3 goals in the first 14 minutes. Tomás O'Shea. James O'Donoghue. Quick, and his confidence at close to an all-time high, you would think. That's Kieran Kilkenny of Dublin, who's back there with him. Paul Galvin. Johnny Cooper behind, and he is surrounded and dispossessed legally, and now there's a free to Dublin. And again, that edge just comes back into it. And James O'Donoghue and Johnny Cooper, unnecessary stuff from both.
The referee will want to take a bit of control. He's given the 13-metre penalty. No more at this stage.
Kieran Kilkenny's free. Bernard Brogan in under it. Has he been held as the ball came in? A bit of a collision, and Bernard Brogan spinning, turning, and we've seen that before. He missed the goal, but the eye is certainly in. 2 points for him, both from play. Level pegging after 15.5 minutes.
Look at the reaction when he gets the ball, spins away on his left instinctively, and his accuracy is there to see. He's going well. That's not a good sign for the Kerry defence, in which there's 4 newcomers, and now they know that they have Brogan now on fire, really flying it.
Michael Darragh Macaulay did well to get that off Anthony Marr. It seemed like the Kerry man was in charge. Macaulay brings Keane O'Sullivan in. He bursts onto it at pace, just lost the ball, but free in. He was fouled. Shane Enright not happy with the referee's decision.
Well, there's no question. It's absolutely a free. Lovely line of running. And there he's taken out there. That is a free in. We spoke about that in the quarter-final.
Philly McMahon, we think, yeah, there he is wearing 22, is going to come in to that Dublin full back line. Will it be O'Brien? Will it be Cooper? Will this be a point for Bernard Brogan to nudge Dublin back in front? 1-3 they've scored since Donncha Walsh's goal.
Well, it's just outstanding stuff, end to end. 1 minute it's swinging the way of the kingdom. Back come the Dubs, and if they can keep this pace, and I suppose that's a reasonable point, Darragh, to make. This is not the pace that Kerry would want to be playing their opening quarter at.
Philly McMahon for Kevin O'Brien, who we mentioned earlier on was having serious issues with James O'Donoghue. And Philly McMahon has gone on to pick up Darren O'Sullivan, and it's Johnny Cooper who's marking James O'Donoghue. Dublin with the last 4 scores. Kerry with a free for a push. Tomas O'Shea, bothered by a hamstring injury in the build-up to this game. Here's Colin Cooper. He's got away again. O'Carroll backs off, and Colin Cooper allowed to go unhindered. And Cooper just never going to miss from there to bring Kerry level. But the Dublin defence in reverse, and nobody went near Cooper.
Well, Declan O'Sullivan, you can see, is trying to stop the quick kickouts. And that's the problem that O'Carroll has, Rory O'Carroll has. It has to be said, in Cooper's last one, he was going to give the inside pass to Declan O'Sullivan, but he took a lot of steps before he finished that ball over the bar. But the referee will have to take control. They're stopping the Kerry. That's the Dublin quick kick-out strategy. They're putting a man in front of the ball, not on.
And they want Kerry to kick the ball as long as possible. And the referee going in to talk to his umpire behind the Hill 16 goal, or one of the umpires, now both of them.
This isn't the first time off camera they've been doing it as well.
Cluxton with the kick out to Cooper, and he's not outside the 20-metre line, and that Kerry pressure paying off, and they're knocking Dublin off their stride in any way they can. Cooper was not outside the 20-metre line when the ball was played to him.
Yeah, but worse than this is the turnover now. Essentially, it's a raffle now. The ball is going to be thrown up, and it can go either way.
Anthony Marr, 6'5", Colin Cooper, James O'Donoghue, and O'Donoghue. It's still in play. Here's Donncha Walsh looking for another goal. Walsh dragged down. Penalty. Kerry penalty. Stephen Cluxton dragging Donncha Walsh down. The ball coming off the upright. And what's going to happen to Stephen Cluxton? The referee wants a word. Kerry will have a penalty. James O'Donoghue is going to take it. It's just a yellow for Stephen Cluxton.
Watch when it comes off. Donncha Walsh just charges at him here. Yeah, there it is. Now he is pulled down, there's no question, but he charges straight into him. You know, there's no whole lot else he can do. He never attempts to play the ball, but the Cluxton overreacts. I think no requirement to drag him to the ground like that. There was a lot of bodies around. Another key moment.
And all of this from Kerry putting pressure on Stephen Cluxton, stopping him taking the short kickouts.
Well, Cluxton's effort was ill-advised, was very, very short, hardly 6-7 metres. Here's the penalty.
James O'Donoghue has scored 1 goal already. O'Donoghue, brilliant penalty. What a stunning penalty. Kerry with 3 goals inside 20 minutes. They take charge again and lead by 3.
Well, that was trouble of their own making, but brilliantly executed by James Donoghue. He is on fire, unstoppable at the moment. Everything he touches.
3-3 to 1-6. Who would have predicted that? Philly McMahon, the Dublin substitute. Paddy Andrews, confirmation of the card for Stephen Cluxton. Kieran Kilkenny hasn't got too much change out of Fionn Fitzgerald, who's moved over to mark him at centre-back. Johnny Cooper. Kerry getting plenty of players back behind the ball. Mannion's in after it, tricky bounce, it's gone over.
Philly McMahon.
Two points between them.
Yeah, it is a long one.
Yep.
He's not going for the score, of course. Paul Mannion is fighting for the ball as it lands, and on the perfect Croke Park pitch, once it's allowed bounce. Ask a Mayo man about that, he'll tell you. It'll go over.
Ball back in play, and that's a lottery around the middle, which Dublin have won. Jack McCaffrey. Paddy Andrews once more in that very deep position. Bernard Brogan has his hand pointed up to the sky. He wants it played into him quickly. Andrews now brings Keane O'Sullivan in. Brogan still wants it. Mannion's there. It opens up for O'Sullivan. He got it over the bar.
Well, it's again a massive line. His line of running at the moment is absolutely sensational. Of course, he has the pace. That's another goal chance, but he's driving it over. He'll be happy enough with that.
It's just a shootout. 3-3, 1-8. Kerry leading by a point. Brendan Keeley goes to the same place again. Buckley and Marr close by each other as they normally are in the Kerry kickouts. Here's Paul Galvin. Declan O'Sullivan. Perfect ball for O'Sullivan and a test for Ger Brennan. Darren O'Sullivan has come out to help. Declan O'Sullivan gone down injured. Colin Cooper in closest to goal. Is he in the full forward line now? Great catch from Cooper and a wonderful score from the Gooch. Too clear.
Well, this is just outstanding stuff. Declan O'Sullivan and the Gooch have swapped positions. You probably noticed that on the diagonal. He just went back door, came off his marker. Now once he has possession, as I've often said, it's too late. The Gooch isn't going to miss. And that one just cleared the 20-metre line, that quick kick out.
Johnny Cooper, Rory O'Carroll. Again, there's pressure high up from Kerry. Johnny Cooper pushed off it by Dunica Walsh. Now is Johnny Cooper in significant trouble?
Knee. I think it's the bang when he goes down here, just there.
Yeah.
Tumbles awkwardly.
Ger Brennan. Paul Flynn, too much to do. Peter Crowley of Kerry, 23 years of age, one of the 4 youngsters in this Kerry defence, and he's been caught and fouled by Paul Flynn. Risky one, but Dunica Walsh has it for Kerry. Jack McCaffrey there with him. And Walsh didn't pick the ball up off the floor. Here's Colin Cooper, surrounded. There have to be 3 men for Kerry, and there are. And Galvin's got in around the back. Paul Galvin just checking for a player and a teammate in a better position. Declan O'Sullivan, head down as he kicked that one, but dropping it short.
Galvin really should have driven on there. Really surprised he turned back and recycled the ball. He should have flicked it over his left or right.
Dublin not able to, at the moment, produce that swashbuckling football we've seen all year. Philly McMahon scored a point with his last foot pass. There's Paul Mannion, pushed with Shane Enright.
Well, soft enough one. A hand on the back perhaps, but it's a soft one.
Kieran Kilkenny. Keane O'Sullivan. Darren McCauley was a little wide. Paddy Andrews in close to goal, and McCauley just goes past Buckley. He's still going. Two other Kerry men come across it. He's lost the ball. Good defending from Kerry. Fionn Fitzgerald back to the safety of Brendan Keeley. Now Shane Enright. Anthony Marr. Paul Galvin, seeing a lot of it for Kerry. So is Tomás O'Shea. James McCarthy there with him. The referee spotted a foul off the ball. Was there
Darren O'Sullivan,
on Darren O'Sullivan inside the Dublin 45. Declan O'Sullivan. They're getting on with it already. James O'Donoghue for Kerry. And O'Donoghue going past Cooper, and O'Carroll's in again. Point. That full back line looks very brittle.
And look at the quick kick. Everything is at an outrageous pace. I said O'Donoghue is just flying. He's unstoppable at the moment. Again, a lot of steps. Referee gave him the advantage. He might have been fouled over the bar.
Short kick out to Jack McCaffrey, then Johnny Cooper. Pace of this thing is just stunning. Kerry, their total of 3-5. 2-5 has come from play. Ball moved in quickly towards Bernard Brogan. That was asking a lot of him. Good defending from Mark O'Shea. Fionn Fitzgerald. Paddy Andrews beaten by the skill of Fitzgerald. Risky one for Tomás O'Shea, but he secured possession, as has Paul Galvin. Johnny Buckley. Buckley boots it forward. Darren O'Sullivan has got away from Rory O'Carroll. O'Sullivan, he's lightning fast as well. Help from Donncha Walsh. Looking to get a player free. Johnny Buckley had to stay committed. Paul Galvin. Just keep the passing from Kerry is stunning, and Colin Cooper has got another put. No, he's put it wide. I thought that was over. You would expect him to put it over from there. It's surprising he missed. They still lead by 3.
Well, that's how good he is. It's his right foot, and we still think he's infallible even on that. He'll be annoyed with himself. His standards are very high. He'd have expected to get that one.
It was well wide when you look at that replay. James McCarthy having to kick it long, not able to run with it. Dublin free. Kieran Kilkenny, they haven't been able to get the ball to him as much as they would like, and the bounce beats Paul Mannion. Kenny for his thoughts. Jim Gavin, the Dublin manager.
I think he'd be happy, Dara. Overall, you have to say, when you get 3 shocks like those goals that Kerry put into the back of the Dublin net against the top keeper in the country. They've only conceded 1 before this.
Well done, Tomás O'Shea. Connolly got there as quick as he could, but not quick enough. Mark O'Shea. Lots of space in front of him. Michael Darragh Macaulay comes to close him down. Darren O'Sullivan with Rory O'Carroll. O'Carroll taller, but O'Sullivan quicker.
But he pulls it out of his hand.
Free Kerry.
That's going to be a free.
Free into Kerry.
Softish enough, but technically correct. Rory O'Carroll's tackling was merely just to pull the ball out of the Gooch's hands. We might get a look at that again, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason for it.
Taking his time, Colin Cooper. Given that, it's come off the post. They scored a goal the last time this happened. Kerry have possession again. Donncha Walsh, and Walsh has got right under that. James O'Donoghue down the bottom of your screen, just punching the air. He was furious the ball wasn't played into it.
Yeah, he came off his man. Well, here it is. There it is. Just pulled out of Darren O'Sullivan's hands. Referee gives the free. Nothing came off it.
Dublin attacking with Michael Darragh Macaulay. Johnny Buckley in front of him. Bernard Brogan has got it in front of Mark O'Shea. Brogan spins round. O'Shea still in front of him. Brogan from a very tricky angle has put it wide. That's their 3rd wide.
And again, when we look at that, you'll see that his jersey was being pulled. He'll be not too pleased that he didn't get the free.
And you saw how quickly Brendan Keeley got the ball back in motion for Kerry. incredible pace. Shane Enright with a poor pass for Kerry, giving the ball back to Dublin. Michael Darragh Macaulay, Diarmuid Connolly to Paul Flynn. Tight space, Kieran Kilkenny. Quick shot from Kieran Kilkenny, and the point. Steadies them down again. 3-5-1-9-2 the difference.
Yeah, super score. Beautifully put together. Excellently finished by Kieran Kilkenny. They needed that. That's a settler. Certainly with 5 to go. As I said earlier, I think Jim Gavin will be very pleased. That's only a 2-point game. And on the other side, the Kerry management will be saying, why isn't it more?
Anthony Marr with the clean catch, and then he's fouled. That was Dublin's first point in 8 minutes from Kieran Kilkenny. Paul Galvin taking his time. Cooper was out on the shoulder of James O'Donoghue. Just got it away from the danger area. Colin Cooper sneaking forward now, back into the full forward position as you follow the play with Darren O'Sullivan. Cooper in very close to the Dublin goal. Kerry being precise again. James O'Donoghue. Cooper in a left corner forward position as Darren O'Sullivan decides how best to proceed. Fionn Fitzgerald, Anthony Marr. Patient Kerry. Paul Galvin. Philly McMahon claiming he was fouled and pushed, and the referee spotted it, much to McMahon's relief. He'd stopped.
I don't think he could have missed it because Philly McMahon made it so obvious the ref he was being fouled. He deserved to get his free though.
Paul Flynn. Ger Brennan. Into that space for James McCarthy to run onto with a pace. That's what they want to do as much as they can, and Anthony Marr fouls him. And is Marr going to see a card?
Well, I think so, because if James McCarthy breaks Anthony Marr's tackle, he's in open country and overlaps. So yeah, a deserved yellow.
Bernard Brogan is going to take the free. Stephen Cluxton is actually out beyond his own 45-metre line. He thought he was going to get the call. Difficult for a left-footed kicker though from that side. So under 3 minutes to half-time, Kerry leading by 2. Brogan doesn't like it.
Well, he got under it completely. Poor contact. The ball just went up in the air, and he just pulled back. And a deserved yellow, no more than that.
Keeley forced long. Who touched that one last? Well, it's a Kerry ball.
I think Darren Macaulay would judge to have punched it out over the sideline.
Ger Brennan struggling. Colin Cooper, clever hands back to Paul Galvin. Cooper has a few yards on Ger Brennan. Darren O'Sullivan is there with him. Cooper. Paul Galvin. Donegal Walsh. They've got Tomas O'Shea in some space. Michael Darragh Macaulay there with him. Again, there's a big gap through the middle of that Dublin full back line, but they work with James O'Donoghue. Kerry. Declan O'Sullivan. Forced sideways to Peter Crowley. Paul Galvin. Was he pushed? Referee said no. Here's Peter Crowley. Missed one early, wasn't it? The first scoring chance of the match for Kerry. He put it wide. Anthony Marr. Kerry putting an awful lot into this attack. Declan O'Sullivan going down, claiming he was fouled by Rory O'Carroll. Referee didn't see it that way.
I'll say I didn't see it myself, but I might pick it up on a replay. Darren O'Sullivan is pretty adamant he was fouled, appealing to the umpires.
1 minute to be added on, but Kerry had the ball in hand there for such a long time. And
big defensive lines in front of them though, Dara.
Cian O'Sullivan, oh, he's surrounded by 3 Kerry men. Tried to find Rory O'Carroll there and bother on their own kick out. Free in Kerry. wonder would Colin Cooper have fancied going on a bit further with that, letting the play develop.
Yeah, that was his instinct, wasn't it? He got up like a flash.
Kick-out stats.
Yeah, kick-outs 1, 11, 14, 10, 13. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. They're obviously concentrating on their own kick-outs, very much so. I'd like to see the stats on the opposite side, of course. Turn them around. They're not as aggressive on the opposition.
This fella, Johnny Buckley, a very fine free taker. They lead by 2. Oh, dear. Sorry, Johnny, that was my fault. Additional time at the end of the first half. Won't do that again.
Well, it's a big miss.
Yeah. 6 Kerry wide. And while Brogan missed a chance to bring them back to within 1, that was to put them 3 clear at half-time. Which, as you said, Kerry will feel they probably should be further in front. Now, big gap between midfield and the Kerry half-back line. Diarmuid Connolly with Tomás O'Shea in front of him. Just a bit edgy. Kieran Kilkenny. Very difficult angle. Mannion will chase it down, but that was a poor decision from Kieran Kilkenny.
Yeah, that's a poor wide. Not his form, it has to be said, but the shot selection there poor. Should have developed it coming up to half-time, bring the ball into context. See, can you generate a free or recycle it into a better position?
Just sum up, Kevin, what we've seen.
Well, just electric start. The goals have been sensational, but I think Dublin will be very pleased with where they are. Kerry will be happy that they're putting the game really to Dublin, but all to play for, no doubt.
Well, James O'Donoghue started things off. 3 Kerry goals inside the first 20 minutes. They scored. Donncha Walsh, O'Donoghue got 2, 1 from the penalty. Mannion's reply was important for Dublin, but it's Kerry who lead at half-time by 3-5 to 1-9. Analysis to come on the far side of this break.
We are at the halfway point in the second of this year's All-Ireland football semi-finals. Kerry leading by 2 points, 3 goals and 5 points to 1 goal and 9 points. Pat Spillane, what have you thought of your fellow countymen so far?
Well, I'll tell you this, Michael, that 35 minutes or 37 minutes have redeemed my faith in Gaelic football, because it's been an outstanding exhibition of what the game of Gaelic football is about. This was a game, Gaelic football, that was hijacked for the last 10 years by defensive-minded, negative coaches, where it was all about stopping the opposition by fair or foul means. Last Sunday we saw with James Horton, and today we see with the 2 teams here, with Jim Gavin's trained team and Eamon Fitzmaurice's trained team. You have 2 teams here where it's all about a footballing philosophy, where it's about attacking, it's about trying to outscore the opposition. It's not about systems, it's not about negativity. The range of kick passing, just a useless statistic. Dublin kick passed the ball 28 times in that first half. Kerry kick passed the ball 30 times. Do you know what? That's more than the number of kick passes that Tyrone had in the entire game last Sunday. They kicked 26 kick passes last Sunday. So this was a lovely exhibition. Credit to everyone involved, the referee. It's a lovely, high-scoring, free-flowing football. This is what players want to play, Michael. This is what spectators want to come to see. So I compliment them all. And just to look at the Gooch and his vision, and to look at some of the kick passing from Kerry, it was brilliant stuff, Michael.
It's relentless kind of stuff, Colin Moore, because the only way you could describe it.
Yeah, sometimes you have close matches which are exciting and the quality may not be particularly good. In this case, the quality is very, very high, and it's a close, competitive and very sporting game. And in fairness, the referee is doing his best to keep the thing moving. The quality of foot passing by Kerry in the first 20 minutes was as good as I have ever seen before. And their movement off the ball and their inside forward play. Brilliant play by the Gooch, James O'Donoghue, Tomás O'Shea, who's the oldest player on the field, brilliant in that first half. But I think that Dublin will be happy enough. They've been rocked by 3 hammer blows, and it's a bit like getting one from Joe Frazier on Muhammad Ali. They've staggered, but they're knocked down, and I think they're going to come back in the second half.
It is, Joe Bradley, credit to them that they are still right in this game, considering those goals that Kerry have got, scoring into the hill as well. Let's have a look at the first of them.
Yeah, well, the Dubs are living and dying on this man against man strategy, you know, and they're going to stick with that. And so for the first time in many years, we're able to see Cooper at his best. I mean, he's been like a sort of an expert swordsman toying with a feisty novice in Ger Brennan. I mean, it's been a terrific display, wonderful vision, passing, two-footed. I mean, he has really been fantastic. And of course, this is the problem. This is the problem with the way the Dubs play, is that they do let you play. So I mean, Jim Gavin is going to live and die by this strategy. The difference between the teams thus far is that Dublin, for all their extra athleticism and their pace, are creating goal-scoring chances and not taking them.
Yes.
Kerry are creating goal chances and are lethal. And another thing that they've clearly been doing behind closed doors over the last 6 weeks is they've been working on their forward movement. Their forward movement has been exemplary. Diagonal runs, lateral runs, inch-perfect passes. I mean, they really have cut Dublin to pieces. And I have to say now, it's been an absolute privilege to be here to watch it.
And just to prove, Pat, that goal just wasn't something out of the blue, they did it again.
Yeah, again, the key in all of this is the magic of Gooch and his vision. Just watch, I mean, and we saw it earlier on. Listen, a lovely quick pass into Donegal Walsh. And Donegal Walsh, I mean, has been criticised in Kerry for not scoring enough. He scored 3 points the last day against Cavan. And that is as good a finish as you'll get against one of the best goalkeepers of all time. But look, it's just, you pay the admission fee alone just to watch the magic and the touches of class and the sheer vision and the sheer brilliance of Gooch.
That vision
composure,
there,
the composure,
Dublin,
you know.
Dublin seem to be treating Gooch like Cowboy Joe and hoping the posse will cut him off at the pass. But give him the ball with any type of space and he's going to pick out a man.
The hill was very quiet for a while after those goals were scored, I can tell you. Time for us to pause again for a little while here at Croke Park. Join us for the second half of Dublin versus Kerry after this break. Yes, an occasion that always makes the heart beat that little bit faster. The All-Ireland hurling final, Clare versus Cork next Sunday, and we are on the air from 2:15. But at half-time in today's football semi-final, Kerry leading Dublin 3 goals and 5 points to 1 goal and 9 points. We always suspected, Colin Burke, that there would be goals in a game like this. We didn't think there'd be so many after about 20 minutes. We saw Kerry's second goal just before the break. Less than a minute later, 57 seconds in actual fact, the ball was in the Kerry net.
Yeah, well, at that stage, I think Kerry had moved 5 points up, so Dublin needed a response, and a response came very, very quickly. Fantastic ball across the field by Paul Flynn to Dear McConnelly, who hasn't been in the game much. Tomas O'Shea has done a real job on him, and he goes for a point with his left foot, and Paul Mannion, like all good corner forwards, was waiting for the ball to drop short and gets his fist in it. Kerry marker, not on him, not as close as he should have been. Connolly had kicked a lovely point with his left foot before this at the start of the game, and probably assumed that he'd do the same again. With a good corner forward, Mannion has been brilliant all year, and again he's a goal scorer. Actually,
what it highlights is the flaw in Kerry's play that was also shown the second half against Cork in the Munster final, that when the ball was kicked in high, this Kerry full back line is not commanding on the high ball. But credit to Dublin in that half, they showed great character. In the space of 4 minutes, Michael, they came from 5 points down to be a point ahead. They scored 1-4 without reply.
There was another goal for Kerry, this one from the penalty spot.
It's just the absolute precision.
And I presume this was a penalty.
Oh, it's definitely a penalty. But it's the absolute precision of Kerry, you know, and it's their composure, precision, coolness against the sort of relentless helter-skelter running game of Dublin. And, you know, the question is now whether or not Dublin will be able to wear them down. The problem being that Cooper and his colleagues are finding lots of space in that Dublin defence, and they're absolutely lethal. So the question is whether or not Kerry can avoid being hemmed in, because there were times in the first half we were looking at it and you could see that Dublin were pushing Kerry back. Kerry were finding it very difficult to get out. But once they do get out and move it over the top of the Dublin defence, they're up and running. I mean, Donoghu's deadly.
About that being a definite penalty. As far as I'm concerned, Donegal Walsh charged with the ball initially, straight into Cluxton.
How could he charge in one step?
Cluxton then hauled them down and gave away the penalty. But the initial movement by Walsh,
like the big
charge.
I don't think it was. But the big question mark now, Michael, is in the second half, can Kerry replicate the first half performance in the second half? Because we saw in the Munster final, there were 7 points. It was 1-11.
Can they sustain the pace?
It was can they sustain the pace? There were 7 points up against Cork, lost the second half on the score of 11-6. Against Cavan the last day, comfortably ahead at half time, lost the second half against Cavan 7-5. So, like Joe says, can they sustain the pace for another?
They sustain the pace? Because the thing about that first half is they were forcing the pace. They were taking quick frees. They looked like the team that had the pace and wanted to exploit it.
I think the game was 100 miles an hour for the first 20 minutes. I think there was a noticeable drop in pace for the last 10 or 15 minutes of the half, because I don't think anybody can keep up the pace. I think we also have to remember now, Dublin are going to look for the 5th Cavalry in the subs, and they'll bring on Bastick and McManaman and Dean Rock and players like this. Now, of course, Kerry have Brian Sheehan and Dennis Moran or David Moran and Owen Browson, and they could bring those on. But I think the balance of advantage in subs is on the Dublin side. The big imponderable for me is when Kerry bring on Donaghy, and where did they put him?
Yes.
And I think that if Kerry are doing their homework right and they see what happened in the first half, they'll put him in there on the edge of the square and put
I'm
in
not
a
so
few
sure.
high balls. I know that Kerry have had a lot of value from the low, quick ball inside, but in the second half of the Munster final and against Cavan, that whole game dried up.
So are you suggesting that what they should do is change tack for the second half?
I want an alternative type of thing. This is not going to work all the time.
Why would you, in circumstances where Kerry are playing with such economy up front, their movement is brilliant. Every time they get the ball, they're threatening a goal. Why would you change tactics at this point?
Because by bringing on
Kieran, the problem with Kieran is that Kieran's a roadblock in front of the goals.
When you bring on
Kieran, if he's flicking down.
When you bring on Kieran Donaghy, it means your game plan is completely altered. Kerry's game plan in that first half was like the first half against Cork, where quick ball, angles of rolling brilliant, great variety in the attack, and great support play. If Donaghy is brought in, you know what, a blind man could play in the full back line, because he knows the ball is going to come in high under Donaghy. The unfortunate thing about Donaghy, as we saw against Cavan, he's lost a bit of pace and his first touch is poor. So I'll stick with the winning formula for as long as possible.
Joe, let's come back to Dublin, because you were making the point before the match about Dublin's creating chances but not taking them.
Squandering. Squanderlust.
And well, there was an example of it here again. They looked like they could score at will, and yet they had one goal. But
well, I said beforehand, this is a big game, and you can't be wasting chances like this. Michael Darren McCauley's clean through. He drops his head and he puts it in the net, or he knocks it across to the other side of the square. And it's an easy goal. I mean, here again, this has got to go in the net. Let me put it to you this way, Michael.
Oh, that was close.
If that's Colin Cooper, no, close is no good. If that's Colin Cooper or James O'Donoghue, the ball is in the net. And that's the difference at this level. So against lesser teams, Dublin can overwhelm them, and even though they're missing 80% of their goal chances, they can still win the game. They can't do it at this higher level.
Yeah, but
so it's a huge sort of test for them in the second half.
For Dublin, the problem is not scoring. Dublin have scored a goal in 9 points, which is a great score in any game. The problem for Dublin is their defence. It's they're leaking goals, and they all have been showing throughout the championship a big problem in the Dublin defence, and it hasn't been solved.
I agree, Colin. And I
think that Dublin should be taken off Ger Brennan. If I want to say what's going to be happening, I think he's in big trouble there in the Dublin defence. I think they took off the wrong man.
Both teams back. Attendance of 81,553 here today, by the way. Now, after today's semi-final, watch out for a great competition here on the programme, a chance for you to win a brand new car, and you could drive yourself in style to this year's All-Ireland final. But who will it be? Let's find out with Darren Maloney and Kevin McStay.
Michael, thank you. Well, we are looking at Dennis Bastick wearing number 17 coming out for Dublin for the start of the second half, and Cian O'Sullivan has gone to centre back to mark Colin Cooper, which means that Ger Brennan has been taken off the Dublin team for the second half. The last time Kerry scored 3 goals against Dublin in a championship match was the 1979 All-Ireland final. That attendance, 81,553. I want to know where the other 47 people are. It has been brilliant football and all to play for, with Kerry leading by 2 as the second half begins. 15 of the 18 scores we've had so far in this All-Ireland semi-final have been from play. Pressure on the Dublin full back line already. There was a push free to Dublin. Michael Darragh McCauley. Jack McCaffrey and Paul Flynn. Route 1 in towards Bernard Brogan. Good hand from Mark O'Shea in there. The ball squirts loose on O'Shea, just pulling on it. James McCarthy is pushed up from right half back to join the attackers. Paddy Andrews. McCarthy was booked in the first half, and that was a poor pass into a pretty congested area of the field. Kerry get the ball into space. Donncha Walsh. It's Mark Griffin. By Dermot Connolly. He's gone down, touching his right shoulder.
He's lucky he caught him in the chest or that area, because if he gets that any higher, that is real damage. And so you're looking at yellow card country here for a bit of rough play.
Conor Riley took his time, but it is yellow for Connolly. Took his time before revealing the card. Third Dublin player to be booked. Stephen Cluxton, James McCarthy, the other two.
We were just talking about Derek goal chances. Interest. I was listening very carefully to Joe on the goal chances. 66% conversion rate for the chances for Dublin, 50% conversion rate for Kerry. So that one, stats and stats and stats.
Colin Cooper getting out in front of Keane O'Sullivan. Dennis Bastick back after him. Here's Johnny Buckley for Kerry. Declan O'Sullivan now. Angle not great for him. The shot wasn't great. Can't believe he missed that.
Very unlike him.
Yeah, 7 wides now for Kerry.
Stephen Cluxton waves it wide, but you can never believe goalkeepers these days. The wave, even the ones between the posts, the wave them wide. And another yellow.
Johnny Cooper this time. For something off the ball.
Look how hard they're working on the Cluxton kick-out, giving them very few options. And there's the turnover.
Yeah, it was for Paul Flynn, yard or two away. Here's Anthony Marr for Kerry, looking for the first score of the second half. Here's Declan O'Sullivan, Darren O'Sullivan, I beg your pardon. Now it's James O'Donoghue, no, it's Crowley, and now it's Paul Galvin, and Galvin slots that over. After Declan O'Sullivan's miss, Paul Galvin for Kerry. They lead by 3. First score of the second half.
Well, it's a goal chance, except Darren O'Sullivan's first touch is a poor one. They recycle it in the minimum. They have to get something out of it, and Paul Galvin ensures they do. They get the point.
3-6 to 1-9. Kerry with the ball off Cluxton's kick out. Anthony Marr angling that out. Push by Declan O'Sullivan on Rory O'Carroll. He's playing on, but the referee had blown the whistle.
Will these pushes always be called Derby-esque type pushes? A little bit of contact. Referee got that one right, in my opinion.
Paul Flynn getting free for Dublin. That's for Paddy Andrews and Kieran Kilkenny to go after. Kerry's Mark Griffin there.
I think that's a Dublin ball.
Signalled as Kerry.
I certainly would like to see that one again from this position. It looked Dublin. Well, that is certainly a Dublin ball. Goes off the number 4, Shane Enright.
Dublin have possession back anyway with Dermot Connolly. Johnny Cooper. Johnny Buckley. Connolly sent it out to Paddy Andrews. Michael Darragh Macaulay gave him an option. James McCarthy just pushes forward. Andrews. Dennis Bastick. Bastick launches that in. Not a good decision. Easy catch for Brendan Keeley, the Kerry goalkeeper. Look where James O'Donoghue is. Mark O'Shea. Shane Enright. And Fionn Fitzgerald. Enright. Michael Walsh claims that was touched on the ground by the Kerry wing forward. Clever little hand pass.
That's off the ground.
So that was picked up by Peter Crowley. Paul Mannion. Bernard Brogan. scored 3 points in the first half. 2 of them were from play. Kieran Kilkenny. Dennis Bastic couldn't hold back. Kieran Kilkenny back on it. Now Bernard Brogan with the snapshot, kicking into Hill 16, nailed it. Very fine point from Bernard Brogan. The signs are there, he's just bubbling. 2 between them. Kerry lead 3-6 to 110.
Well, he's tidied it up neatly. First to 4 pass by Kieran Kilkenny. Then excellent work by Dennis Bastic in the physical stakes, and then Bernard tidies it all up, as you said, with that lovely snapshot right between the posts.
Sean Fitzgerald, Kerry taking a lot out of it. Brendan Keeley, Mark O'Shea. To Tomas, setting off at full tilt, that familiar stride. Philly McMahon was fouling James O'Donoghue. Philly not impressed. James O'Donoghue rather happy the decision went his way. Here it is again.
Well, I've seen those ones being let go on, but for dissent, now it's a very easy one, isn't it?
It is for Colin Cooper. Now the referee
is going in after Philly McMahon, isn't he?
Yeah, and McMahon is in standing on the goal line alongside Stephen Cluxton. And this yellow card count is mounting, so a yellow for Philly McMahon. 5 Dublin players on yellows, and they are about to make a substitution. Dean Rock is going to see some game time any minute as Colin Cooper slots over the free for Kerry, outscoring Dublin by 2-1 since the match restarted. It's Kieran Kilkenny who's going off the Dublin team. It has been a frustrating match for him, and Dean Rock has scored 2 points in each of the 4 games he's played in this year's championship. Hasn't started but a sub in the 4 previous games and chipped in with 2 in each match. Stephen Cluxton frustrated with his kick out. It's gone against Dublin, and now it's Darren O'Sullivan to Declan. Johnny Cooper there behind him. Donncha Walsh and Darren O'Sullivan. Paul Galvin to his left. Here is Galvin just chipping it and over the bar. Well worked score from Kerry.
And again, Dara, they are attacking the Cluxton kick out with serious aggression. This was flagged. They were very successful in 11 and in 09 doing this, and they're getting real returns from it.
Well, right down the middle from Stephen Cluxton, and he's found his man, Diarmuid Connolly. Kerry with a healthy lead. Dublin with just 1 point since the match restarted. Paddy Andrews, Bernard Brogan and Paul Mannion screaming for the ball particularly, and it goes up to Mannion with Shane Enright behind him. Will want it on his left boot, and help from McCaffrey. Mannion still going. Here's Dean Rock from a very tricky angle. Rock, and there's his first point. He's only on the field about a minute, making a point to his manager. He was close to the starting team against Cork. This wasn't easy. Fine score.
Well, that is a great score. Serious accuracy involved there. There was a clamour for his name on the starting 15 all week. Didn't make it, and now he has something to prove, and that's a great start.
And Brendan Keeley towards Anthony Mark, couldn't hang on to it. Peter Crowley could. John Fitzgerald, very tidy footballer, breaks well for Philly McMahon. Keane O'Sullivan, Paddy Andrews, good pace about it. Great defending from Shane Enright, getting his right hand in there ahead of Paul Mannion.
Mannion didn't wait it for the ball. He should have driven onto the ball, waited for the ball to come to him. Kerry defender nipped in.
Kerry dominating possession so far in the second half. That's Mark O'Shea in all sorts of bother, but he was fouled. keeping the ball out of Dublin hands. John Fitzgerald plays his club football with Dr. Croat. Declan O'Sullivan. Tomas O'Shea. Colin Cooper to his left. In front of him is Darren O'Sullivan. Now in possession, nobody on the 20-metre line. O'Sullivan very good in these tight areas, and Darren O'Sullivan has got through. O'Sullivan goes with the fist. Just wide.
That could be a big wide, because as you know, it's a 3-point game. If he gets a minimum of a point out of this, and he nearly does, ends up a wide.
Now a different kick-out strategy. Dermot Connolly running onto it at pace, open road in front, Rock to his right. Dermot Connolly taking it into the tackle. Bernard Brogan now. Brogan! Easy save for Brendan Keeley. Dean Rock was screaming for the ball to be played to him, and Dermot Connolly held onto it and went himself, and they get no score out of the attack.
Well, you summarised that one absolutely perfectly. Should have moved the ball, but didn't.
Dean Rock was brave. Here's Michael Dara McCauley. Goes past the first challenge of Griffin. McCauley needs some help. He's got a free in, has he? Yes, he has, on the 13-metre line. 3 between them. Peter Crowley in trouble. Yellow for the Kerry centre-back.
It must be said, Dara, in the last few minutes, a few balls where Kerry defenders had to stretch. They were looking well tired to me. Tomas O'Shea was trying to catch up with Jeremy Connie that time. No chance of it.
And Bernard Brogan sends that over and brings them back to within 2.
Well, there it is. This is the foul coming up, just pulled to the ground by Peter Crowley.
Mark Griffin has an issue. We're going to have to bring on a blood sub for the Kerry fullback. And the first time in a while that the Dublin fans have been heard singing at that volume.
So Owen Brosnan.
Owen Brosnan for Mark Griffin for a little while. And Brendan Keeley gets the ball back in play towards Anthony Marr. Dennis Bastick got hands on that. Jack McCaffrey, here he goes, and listen to the roar around the place. McCaffrey is going to need some help. He has it in the shape of Paddy Andrews. Paul Mannion's looking for it. Andrews has got space, takes on the shot. Back to within 1. They've got the last 3 points of this All-Ireland semi-final, and the next 10 minutes of this absolutely crucial. Kerry lead by 1.
Well, we've a game now, haven't we? The ball breaks, and again you can see Jack McCaffrey's extra bit of pace gets him onto the ball. This is a key period now for the Kingdom. They have to consolidate and try and slow it down some way or other.
They've put a huge effort into getting themselves into this position, Kerry, on the scoreboard. All those periods of holding onto the ball, will they take their toll as the minutes tick away? Dublin have it off Keeley's kick-out. Paul Flynn, different sort of performance from him today. Here's Bernard Brogan. McCarthy had got free. Bernard Brogan, that's right out of the sweet spot, and his eye is very definitely in. And they're level for the 4th time. They were 4 in arrears at one point during this second half. They've got the last 4 to move level with 20 minutes remaining.
Well, it's going to be a long 20 minutes, but look at the game, perfectly poised, and you have to take your hat off to Bernard Brogan. In all fairness, Dara, he's putting in a tremendous performance. We said he was searching for his form in the earlier rounds, in the Leinster final, in the quarter-final, and now he's bang on at the moment.
Kerry are bringing David Moran on for Johnny Buckley. Moran started in the Cavan game and showing well in training by all accounts. Mark Griffin is back on for Kerry. Owen Brosnan leaves the field, so they've reversed that temporary substitution. Bastick getting out in front of Anthony Marr. Very different feel about this semi-final now. Bastick to Paul Mannion. It's to Jack McCaffrey. Tricky angle, this for the lead, and Keeley goes at the fist.
He manages to...
No, he could have caught it. It's back to Dermot Connolly. Connolly slipping just as he wanted to get the shot away. Takes it into the tackle. Back to Bernard Brogan. Diarmuid Connolly on the right boot for the lead, and he's got it, you know. Super score. 5 without reply for the Leinster champions, and they go in front.
Well, it's brilliantly manufactured between Brogan and Diarmuid Connolly, but I just said earlier, sorry for coming across you, Dara, that Brendan Keeley had no need to fist that ball out. It was an easy enough catch over his head. It's cost him the point, and that's the lead for Dublin, as I said, just short of 20 left.
For the first time since the 4th minute.
Oh, what a game. This is sensational stuff, end to end.
The scoring activity in the last 6 minutes, that's the time it's taken them to score those 5 points. Has been all down at the Hill 16 end, but here come Kerry. Colin Cooper launching that in to test out the full back line. Cluxon has gone out, had to win that and had to put it out of play. Did he need to come out there in the first place? But once he got out, he had to make contact with the ball. Line ball, Kerry. And here's the Kerry change, and they now are bringing Owen Brosnan in permanently, and it's Shane Enright who's going off. 19 for 4. Fionn Fitzgerald has gone back into the Kerry full back line. Brosnan will play in the Kerry half back line.
And in that last ball that went on, it has to be said that David Moran was the man that came up with a good substitution, a bit of energy, a bit of movement, a bit more mobility into the middle 8 for the Kerry guys.
The star will be in shortly with a big point to prove to his manager, and a big part to play, you feel, in the remaining minutes of this All-Ireland semi-final. Diarmuid Connolly, James McCarthy, Dean Rock for Bernard Brogan. He's isolated with Mark O'Shea. Brogan, O'Shea holding him up fairly, and they've figured out that problem. Fionn Fitzgerald, quick thinking from Fitzgerald, back to Brendan Keeley. Referee calls a halt. Dublin man down injured. A bit of stuff off the ball as well, but that has calmed down. And now is the moment for Kieran Donaghy to replace Paul Galvin. Bernard Brogan still receiving treatment, and Kieran Donaghy going in at full forward to renew acquaintances with Rory O'Carroll. In the second half, Dublin have outscored Kerry by 6 points to 3. Here's Michael Dara McCauley. Bernard Brogan was unmarked momentarily, but now he's been covered. Here's Paddy Andrews. Dean Rock. Paul Mannion now. Mannion gets his shot away. They lead by 1, and it stays a 1-point lead. He missed that by quite a distance. 6th wide, first of the second half for Dublin. They have been ruthless in front of goal, and that was a breakdown in Kerry's kick-out strategy as they head towards 11 minutes since their last score. Dublin 6 without reply in that time.
Oh, big call.
Mannion penalised for playing it on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely, but I must say, the honesty with which all the players are going for the ball, it is absolutely terrific stuff. Every ball is a battle. Everyone is giving it their full attention, full honesty, going for it, and if the frees go against you, they just get up and get on.
Tomas O'Shea, Fionn Fitzgerald was caught a fraction late as he played that ball out. David Moran took his eyes off that. Here's Donica Walsh. Michael Darren McCauley with him, tried the tackle, it didn't work. Jack McCaffrey there as well. Here's Darren O'Sullivan, those dancing feet, and they've thrown the ball away in towards Donaghy. James O'Donoghue now, surrounded by 4 Dublin players. Ball squirts out the back. Here's the Gooch, and he's been brought down, and Johnny Cooper is on a yellow card, remember, and Cooper, well, one Cooper fell the other.
Well, if it was Cooper, he's got lucky, because Cormac Riley hasn't spotted it. I wasn't 100% it was Cooper. You've a very keen eye, Dara. But the action was flying. The ball breaks out. Oh, indeed it was. Yeah. Well spotted. Well, that's double yellow, and he should be gone. He's very, very lucky.
And Colin Cooper is down receiving treatment. But we've had a catalogue of huge moments in this game. That's another one.
Yeah. And in the full debate of what we've had in recent weeks, it's only fair to say that that is in the very cynical category too. You know, we went after Sean Kavanagh to a certain degree when he hauled down a man. The Gooch is on the chip lift there. He's clean through for a goal. And Cooper puts out his foot. And not only that, to add insult to injury from the Kerry perspective, he doesn't get the yellow, he stays on the field.
A very interested spectator. They're here, back here on the 22nd of September. The Mayo manager James Horan, what will he and what does he make of all of this? He's enjoying it. Teams have been level 4 times and they're taking great care over this treatment for Colm Cooper.
Was it his jaw area they were looking at as they lifted him up very gingerly? Maybe got another bang, trailing knee or something like that. He looks rattled, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah, and I think he wants James O'Donoghue to take the free. Oh, he got caught by Philly McMahon as he was lying on the ground.
Was that a trailing leg
There was
or more? Very hard to know.
Coming together there, and that's well, that explains why they took such great care over the treatment for Colm Cooper, and he actually is going to take the free himself.
They say you should never let the injured man take the free, but I'll make an exception in Gooch's case.
All day. Stolen a yard or two and slots that over and brings Kerry level. It's their first point in quite a while, since the 45th minute.
And it's level pegging again, and the short kick out and just gets away with Philly McMahon.
1:15:39. Here's Keane O'Sullivan, Dean Rock, Jack McCaffrey. McCaffrey launching that in. Brendan Keeley out after it. Safe pair of hands. Brogan closes him down. He needs some assistance, the Kerry goalkeeper. He's got it. Mark O'Shea. John Fitzgerald. Anthony Marr. David Moran took a fair bit of time, that ball, to get across to his chest. Owen Brosnan, Declan O'Sullivan, Kieran Donaghy in closest to the Dublin goal. Now look at Tomas O'Shea, 35 years young, running right up there with Declan O'Sullivan. O'Shea steadies down. He's got under that though, but Donaghy may be able to make something out of it. Big battle with Rory O'Carroll. Donaghy in after it. And now Johnny Cooper picks up the loose ball for Dublin. Michael Darragh Macaulay. Paddy Andrews. This thing's stretching out as we head into the last 10 minutes. They are level. They've been level 5 times in this All-Ireland semi-final. Bernard Brogan out in front now. Dean Rock didn't catch that one. He's got one. Has to wait longer for his second.
He should have got that one. I was very impressed with his opening 10 minutes. So he came on doing everything well, but that will go down as a big miss.
Keane O'Sullivan got out in front of Declan O'Sullivan very easily. Dermot Connolly. Now Johnny Cooper. Cooper from cornerback, missed it. It's only their second wide of the second half. 7 in total, and Dublin bringing Owen O'Gara in for Paul Mannion.
Well, we certainly, from a Dublin perspective, wouldn't have wanted Johnny Cooper shooting. I don't know what his stats are for the championship. I was concentrating on the attackers, but he approached that and kicked it very much like a cornerback, and a big miss.
Hadn't scored. Still hasn't. Paddy Andrews. Owen O'Gara. Dean Rock is up there with him. Rock on his right foot this time. Over it goes. Dublin back in front, heading into the final 10 minutes of the second All-Ireland semi-final.
Well played by O'Gara. Well, Rock is just brilliant at these. He puts them up over his left shoulder, like they're against his good foot. He's on a kit-dog side, and he's just swinging them over like the posts are 20 metres wide.
He continues his run of 2 points per appearance in this year's championship. That's a Dublin line ball. They look pretty calm at the moment, Jim Gavin and his selectors.
Oh, he's got away with that. They're going to let him have another go, but Paul Flynn sliced it so badly. He may have broken the line. This is a big moment.
Going to throw the ball in. Cormac Riley.
That's what's happened.
For the sideline infringement. Aidan O'Mahony is warming up for Kerry. Owen Brosnan. Donaghy's coming out towards it. Philly McMahon fisting that out to Dennis Bastick.
Could have got anywhere.
Keane O'Sullivan. Dublin have a 1-point lead. This match has had absolutely everything, including poor passes from Keane O'Sullivan. Donaghy out around midfield now. David Moran for Colm Cooper in the Kerry full forward line. Runners arriving. James O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue on a hat-trick of goals, takes the point and over it goes. To bring them level yet again. 6th time.
I must say I'd have a problem with Keane O'Sullivan's turnover. Looked to me like his hand was held back. The point came off that. Keane O'Sullivan was trying to execute a simple hand pass, and his holding hand was pulled from under him.
Mark Griffin being replaced, as you saw, by Aidan O'Mahony. Another experienced man, very experienced man that Eamon Fitzmaurice can bring in. Where's the kick out going? Dennis Bastick is the answer, but Kerry have got it back. Declan O'Sullivan skips away from the challenge. Colm Cooper. Darren O'Sullivan. Now, possibilities for Kerry. O'Sullivan weaving one way, then the other, and slots it over, and Kerry go back in front. 2 unanswered points from Kerry, and they lead by 1, 3-11, 1-16.
This is just great stuff. This is just great stuff. One ball in, one ball out, scores. It's got everything, absolutely everything. And now the lead is back with Kerry.
Billy McMahon sauntering forward for Dublin. That could work out well. Paul Flynn. Bernard Brogan further out this time. Brogan. The shootout continues, but he's put that one wide. Kerry's 1-point lead still intact. That was Dublin's 29th scoring chance. They've kicked 8 wides.
Thought Brogan might just take on his defender there. Here's the Darren O'Sullivan earlier on. Lovely little flick pass from Cooper. Deadly accuracy on the Kitog from Darren O'Sullivan. He's been very busy all day too. But in the last sequence, we have Bernard Brogan getting the ball in. Really good position. But the one thing he hasn't done today is take on Mark O'Shea. I think it's out of respect for how brilliant a defender O'Shea is. And he snatched somewhat at it at a crucial stage in the game. But still 7 minutes left.
And a Kerry man down, injured. The break in play will be welcomed by Kerry. Kevin McMenamin, remember the impression he made when coming on as a substitute in the 2011 All-Ireland final. We haven't even spoken about the revenge issue for Kerry. They felt they left that after them that day, leading by 4 points with 6 minutes to go.
He made a bit of an impression, all right.
Kerry with a 1-point lead, written off by many in the build-up to this game after some indifferent performances, and there's been no second-half fade-out from the Munster champions as there was against Cavan, as there was against Cork, as there was against Tyrone in the league.
I think Dennis Bastick might have casually picked that up off the ground.
Now, there's a bit of a schmozzle broken out close to the Dublin goal. James O'Donoghue and Kieran Donaghy getting to know Philly McMahon and Rory O'Carroll. Dublin about to make their 5th and final substitution, and what has the referee, what is he going to hear when he speaks to the 2 umpires? Philly McMahon was involved. Bernard Brogan is being replaced by Kevin McManaman. Those consultations continue with Cormac Riley, the referee. The notebook is coming out.
Rory O'Carroll was involved too, I think, wasn't he?
Rory O'Carroll and Kieran Donaghy. A yellow each. Yeah. Here's why.
It should be added. There's no ball there.
Yeah. Kind of important. Tomas O'Shea launches that up high. Donaghy goes after it with Rory O'Carroll. Good fist from the Dublin fullback, James McCarthy. He's fouled. Dublin haven't scored at 5 minutes. Kerry have got the last 2. They're going to make their final change. Jack Sherwood, 21 he wears, and he replaces Peter Crowley. Sherwood's championship debut. Played in the league. What a stage for him to come into. In Croke Park at this late stage. Here's Kevin McManaman, that familiar running style. He has to go back from Sherwood. McManaman on his left boot, and he's missed it, and missed it by quite a distance. 2 successive wides from Dublin, one from Bernard Brogan, who's no longer on the field. There's the man who replaced him, Kevin McManaman. 9 wides in total. Kerry still lead by 1.
And those few substitutions and the yellow cards, the clock has been ticking away all this while, and we've just over 3.5 minutes left, and this is going to make it very, very tense and very, very tight for the grand finish.
1977, the last time Dublin managed successive wins over Kerry in the championship. Dennis Bastick with possession for Dublin. Paddy Andrews having to go wide, and Paddy Andrews dragged back. The referee gives the free. Now there's no Bernard Brogan on the field to take the free. Will they bring Stephen Cluxton forward to do this? And that is Jack Sherwood, the new man in, who's got a yellow card for his challenge. Cluxton is going forward. Dermot Connolly has the ball in his hands at the moment. The Dublin supporters here in Croke Park cannot look. Connolly wants to take it. Cluxton out of picture, is now on halfway. Dermot Connolly happy that he wants to take the free.
And it's his weaker foot.
On his weaker left boot. Connolly.
Oh, that's terrific.
Put it over. That's a huge kick from Dermot Connolly. Level a 7th time. 20 points apiece. 3-11, 1-17. It's just stunning stuff. Dublin with possession. Jack McCaffrey hauled down.
What about Cluxton now, Dara? Oh no!
Oh, the referee has reversed the decision. Dublin had a free. Jack McCaffrey.
But don't know why the reversal. Did he say play on and he stood up?
Maybe.
And he overcarried. Yeah, maybe he didn't give a free the first time.
Something to clarify afterwards. Here's Declan O'Sullivan, the sides level in this incredible All-Ireland football semi-final. James O'Donoghue had an incredible first half. O'Donoghue, angle tricky. Bastick got a hand in. Here's Kieran Donaghy. Now Declan O'Sullivan. Declan O'Sullivan for Kerry. It's on its way. But it's wide. It's wide. Missing it on the near side. It looked good initially. It stays a draw game.
This is all about the next ball, Dara.
Kerry have put pressure on Stephen Cluxton all afternoon from these kickouts. Nothing has been easy for the Dublin team to secure their own ball. It's belted long by Cluxton, and it's going to be a Kerry ball, is it? Michael Darragh Macaulay, brilliant. Here's Kevin McManaman. Memories of 2011 as he burst through. The sides are level. McManaman still going! He goes! He's done it again! Could have taken the point. What a goal from Kevin McManaman. He spotted Keely off his line, and he's got the move that takes Dublin to the All-Ireland final.
Well, what a effort by Darragh Macaulay. Darragh, I think he actually does go for the point here. I stand correct. Yes, I believe he did. Miskicked it, but it floated over the head of Brendan Keely. What a goal!
He's the ultimate super sub against Kerry, Kevin McManaman. They lead by 3, and there will be 3 added minutes. Is there time for Kerry to come back from that sucker punch? 2-17, 3-11. It's been the game of the year, maybe the game of the decade by some distance. Cian O'Sullivan for Dublin. Michael Darragh Macaulay. Paul Flynn, McManaman. Now it's Dublin's turn to keep possession. They were on the ropes during the first half. Kerry hit them so hard. Here's Dermot Connolly. Connolly for Dublin, put his foot right through it, raises his arm into the sky. He knew from the moment he kicked it that it was over. It's a 4-point lead, And is this over? You wouldn't think so, with all the drama we've had all the way through. 2:18, 3:11. Owen Brosnan. Donaghy's in, looking after that. That's Paul Flynn, operating as, well, almost another fullback. Stephen Cluxton. And Cluxton wants to play football. And he's been caught by Anthony Marr. It goes down, crushing his face. Paul Flynn has gone in to play as goalkeeper. Dennis Bastick punching the ball and firing it up into space. Fionn Fitzgerald. Brendan Keeley on his own 45-metre line. 3 minutes of added time, 2 left. Mark O'Shea. These guys, some of the greats of Gaelic football, have given it the whole lot. Here's Darren O'Sullivan, and that's in for Kieran Donaghy. O'Carroll there with it. Dublin's defence breached 3 times, not a fourth. Kevin McManaman dragged back by James O'Donoghue, and a chance for them just to calm things down and kill it. Anthony Marr.
Second yellow.
Second yellow. Kerry down to 14. That was for his challenge on Stephen Cluxton.
Kerry are still going after this. There's a lot of movement. They haven't thrown in the towel. Was it 3 minutes, Dara? I think I heard you say.
Yeah, just a few seconds of that left, and Dublin have the ball. They were pushed and pushed and pushed. They knew they would be. But Kevin McManaman's goal has flipped this thing right on its head. 40 seconds remaining. Kerry had the lead not so long ago. Then it was level. Then McManaman did his stuff. Aidan O'Mahony. And that's gone out over the line. He looks like the calmest man in Croke Park, Jim Gavin.
Oh God, if he is, there's something not working.
Michael Dara McCauley.
He's been brilliant.
Icing on the cake. He has been absolutely fantastic. They're in around the back. O'Gara goal! Rock just made sure it may have crossed the line in the first instance. I think it did. O'Gara will get the goal, and that is the icing on the cake. And Jim Gavin, in his first year in charge of the Dublin senior footballers,
it's all over.
Has brought his team to this, and they are in the All-Ireland final. It was over the line. They've got 3 goals of their own, 3:18 to 3:11.
Oh, what a game.
7 points, and what a stunning game of Gaelic football we have witnessed. It ends in bitter disappointment for Kerry. They gave it absolutely all they could, but McManaman, his introduction was late in the second half.
Yeah, it was terrific stuff, you have to say, end to end. Hard to believe the final score shows 7 points of a differential between the two teams. It was never that, never that. But McManaman, we said he made a bit of an impression in 11, made another big one today.
His goal was in the 70th minute of this All-Ireland semi-final. Huge disappointment for the great Colm Cooper. There is the full-time score. 3:18 to Dublin. Kerry 3:11. Well, Stephen Cluxton didn't have to intervene with that Connolly free.
That was a big point, wasn't it? Oh, really ballsy shot from Jermith Connolly. Showed a lot of character because it was so key at the time. McManaman's effort, I really look forward to seeing it tonight on the Sunday game, what the lads make of it. I thought he went for the point. It was the clever thing to do because it would have made a huge difference. But I think he slightly miskicked it and it just beat the goalie. The flight of it ended up in the net.
Brendan Keeley, the Kerry goalkeeper, was a little off his line.